Jai Radha Madhava prayers. Any of the devotees can kindly sing the prayer, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Bonachari. Yamuna Tira Bonachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe. Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. So we'll, sorry. This. So yeah, we'll just, I'll chant the invocation prayer before going to the Lilamrita. Om apavitro pavitro va sarvavastham gatopi va yasmaret pundarikaksham sa bahya abhyantaram shuchihi. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Om ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Shri Chaitanya manobhishtam stapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa kadamayam dadati swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha. Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim. Yat Kripatam Aham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha. Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Nama Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamaline. Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangre. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Again, just to remind myself, what a little bit we are able to utter, it's only thanks to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada, and his wonderful contributions. So before we'll go ahead to the Leelamrita now. So is it here we were, Mataji, yesterday?
Yeah,
you were in the correct place.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, we'll just start from here. Abhay groped after memories of his spiritual master. He felt secure that his own relationship with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was intact, continuing. Yet he felt helpless. He was diligently pursuing his spiritual master's order to preach in English. Yet without a spiritual master's physical presence, he felt very small and very much alone. At times like this, he questioned the wisdom of having left his family and business. Any of the other devotees want to continue from here?
Lamenting Sri Bhakti Siddhanta's absence and the fall of Gaudiya Math, he composed a Bengali poem, Viraha Ashtaka. Srila Prabhupada, you are always compassionate towards the suffering jiva souls. On this occasion of your separation, I see only dejection, an unlimited ocean of mercy cutting an illusion. Nityananda distributed an ocean of flood of love of God. The Jati Gosai stopped the stream, but coming yourself, Lord, you revealed this illusion. So once again, everyone was immersed in the flood of love. Even one so fallen, insignificant and sinful as I, on the strength of Lord Chaitanya's order, you sent all your servants door to door as gurus. There was preaching everywhere from the sea of the Himalayas. So someone else can continue.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else wants to continue?
No.
Yeah,
Your absence, everything is darkness. O Srila Prabhupada, you are always compassionate towards the sufferings, jiva souls. On these occasions of your separation, I see only dejection. In the same way that Advaita Prabhu brought Lord Gaura, so did Bhakti Vinod pray. His enthusiasm brought you. On the strength of his enthusiasm, you came and made everyone understand that India is a holy land. One who takes his birth in the land of Bharata must make his life perfect and then preach to others. This Mahamantra message you preached everywhere. Now in your absence, Lord, everything is darkness. Your ocean of compassion has again been stopped. This appear of great misery has cut through my heart. Without Lord Chaitanya's message, there is just confusion. Saying this, all the Vaishnavas feel pangs of separation. The conditioned souls are all in darkness once again. They are searching for peace, but are dying in an ocean of anxiety. O Srila Prabhupada, you are always compassionate towards the suffering jiva souls. On these occasions of your separation, I see only dejection, of which was a dark view. The golden era of preaching that had flourished in the days of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was no longer. By the influence of Maya, Abhay wrote, now everything is darkness. All devotional instructions have been destroyed. Now everything has been reversed. Meditating on that great personality possessed of the divine power to save the entire world, Abhay expressed his feelings of weakness and helplessness because of those not fixed in devotional service. Many branches have spread all over. Your conclusive message did not touch the ear. Where will I get the strength for the Sankirtan movement? How could he, a tiny spiritual child, survive without his spiritual father? Now, who could save the world, which is so much more oppressed than ever before? Can I stop here, Prabhu?
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
So we'll continue with the rest of the session, Mataji. Yeah, please, Mataji. Thank you very much. Yeah. Again, so we'll just do a quick recap before coming to today's session. The history thus far. So Prithu Maharaj's meeting with the four Kumaras, we saw how the citizens prayed to King Prithu, and then the four Kumaras arrived, and then Maharaja Prithu welcomes the great sages in a very nice way. And then he describes the great fortune of a Vaishnava's visit to our home and the exalted position of the Kumaras. And then he asks the inquiry, achieving the ultimate goal of life, just like Parikshit Maharaj. And then he stresses the importance of the right questions and the right discussion. And then he says, what is the activity for the ultimate welfare for all human beings, giving up material association and associating with the devotees. And then he says, he elaborates on the qualities and activities for spiritual advancement. And then the Kumaras emphasize the burning of material desires and how the material covering is burnt. And then they also caution us against the danger of losing our soul. And the most important, Purushartha, above all the other fours. And then the importance of self-realization, and more important, God realization. And the ultimate shelter, supreme shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. That's where we have come to. And so now today we see this crossing this ocean of nescience. (422-40). Kricho mahaniva bhavarnavam aplavesham sadvarganakram asukhena titirshanti tatvam harer bhagavato bhajaniya mangrim kritvodupam vyasanam uttara dusthararnam. Any one of the other devotees want to?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Yeah.
Vishramaniya Mahaniya Bhavarnava Aplavesham Sadvarga Nakram Asukena Itirshanti Tattvam Harer Bhagavato Bhajaniyam Angrim Krudvo Udupam Vyasana Muttara Dustaranam.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhujan.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Vishro Mahaniya Bhavarnabhu Malpapesham Sarvarga Nakrama Shukena Titirshanti Tattam Harer Bhagavato Bhajaniyam Amrim Prithuram Veshanam Uttar Dustararnam.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Mohaniho Bhavarnavam Aplavesham Sharavarga Nakama Shukhena Titirshanti Tattvam Harer Bhagavato Bhajaniyam Angrim Kritva Rupam Vaishanam Uttara Dustararnam.
Thank you, Mataji. We'll continue with the word-to-word translations. Anybody wants to read the word-to-word translations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I'll read.
Yeah, please.
What to what translation? Vaishnava Prabhupada. Krishna, troublesome, Mahan, very great, Iha, here in this life, Bhava, Arnavam, ocean of material existence, Alpha Isham, of the non-devotees who were not taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personal Godhead. Sat Varga, 6 senses, Narkam, sharks, Anushchena, with great difficulty, it is Shanti, crossover, that therefore, Tam, you, Hare, of the Personal Godhead, Bhagavata, of the Supreme, Bhajantayam, worthy of worship, Angirim, the lotus feet, Kritva, making, Udupan, about Vyasasan, Vyasasanam, all kinds of dangers, Uttara, crossed over, Vistara, very difficult, Arinam, the ocean.
Thank you, Prabhu. Any other devotee wants to read the translation, please?
Yeah, I can try reading. Hare Krishna
Please,
Prabhu.
please, please. Thank you, Mataji.
The ocean of nescience is very difficult to cross because it is infested with many dangerous sharks. Although those who are non-devotees undergo severe austerities and penances to cross that ocean, we recommend that you simply take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are like boats for crossing the ocean. Although the ocean is difficult to cross, by taking shelter of his lotus feet, you will overcome all dangers.
Thank you very much. The purport.
Hare
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam. Purport by Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Material existence is compared herein the great ocean of nescience. Another name of this ocean is Vaitharani. In that Vaitharani ocean, which is the casual ocean, there are innumerable universes floating like footballs. On the other side of the ocean is the spiritual world of Vaikuntha, which is described in Bhagavad Gita 8:20 as Parastashmat Tu Bhavo Anyaha. Thus, there is an ever-existing spiritual nature which is beyond this material nature. Even though all the material universes are annihilated again and again in the cosmos ocean, the Vaikuntha planets, which are spiritual, exist eternally and not subject to evolution. The human form of life gives the living entity a chance to cross the ocean of nescience, which is in this material universe, and enter into the spiritual sky. Although there are many methods or boats by which one can cross the ocean, the Kumaras recommend that the king take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Just as one would take shelter of a good boat, non-devotees who do not take shelter of, of the Lord's lotus feet try to cross the ocean of nescience by other methods, karma, jnana, and yoga. But they have great deal of trouble. Indeed, sometimes they become so busy simply enjoying their troubles that they never cross the ocean. There is no guarantee that the non-devotees will cross the ocean. But even though they manage to cross, they have to undergo severe austerities and penances. On the other hand, anyone who takes to the process of devotional service and has faith that the lotus feet of the Lord are safe boats to cross the ocean is certain to cross very easily and comfortably.
Thank you. Anybody else wants to? Next? Yeah.
Maharaja Prithu is therefore advised to take the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord so easily cross over all dangers. Dangerous elements in the universe are compared to sharks in the ocean. Even though one may be very expert swimmer, he cannot possibly survive if he is attacked by sharks. One often sees that many so-called swamis and yogis sometimes advertise themselves as competent to cross the ocean of nescience and help others cross. But in actuality, they are found to be simply victims of their own senses. Instead of helping their followers to cross the ocean of nescience, such swamis and yogis fall prey to Maya, represented by the fair sex, woven, and thus devoured by the sharks of the ocean.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you very much. What a wonderful, powerful purport by Srila Prabhupada. Just read the translation again. The ocean of nescience is very difficult to cross because it is infested with many dangerous sharks. Although those who are non-devotees undergo severe austerities and penances to cross that ocean, we recommend that you simply take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are like boats for crossing the ocean. Although the ocean is difficult to cross, by taking shelter of his lotus feet, you will overcome all dangers. Guru Gauram Girish Shreshtam Yo Vishrambhena Sevate Madhavam Tulasi Rama Krishna Kirtan Kiram Sve. Guru Gauram. Thank you so much. So we'll continue with the thing. So we have seen this ocean metaphor is used a lot by the acharyas for the universe. So actually, even in the modern world, they say spaceships. No, so even unconsciously, they are also regarding this entire universe as an ocean. And even scientifically, we see that it's actually the Garbhodaka ocean in which all the planets are floating. So it's definitely a very right metaphor. And especially if you look at Kulashekar Alvar, he uses this metaphor a lot, the ocean metaphor. So for example, you see in this Mukundamala Stotram, so he says, Trishna toye madana pavano dhuta mohormi male dharavarte tanaya sahaja graha sangha kulecha samsarakye mahadi jaladav majjatam nastri dhaman padam boje varada bhavato bhakti navam prayacha. So very beautifully he says that we are drowning, he says, oh Lord, we are drowning in a vast ocean of samsara, which is filled with the waters of material hankering, many waves of illusion whipped up by the winds of lust, with whirlpools of wives, vast schools of sharks and sea monsters who are our sons and brothers, he's saying. He's very strong. Oh, giver of all benedictions, please grant me a place on the boat of devotion, that is your lotus feet. So King Kulashekar Alvar is like this for the universe. And actually, it is true, actually. We are stuck in a rough neighborhood, no? Rough neighborhood or in a kind of a hellhole. We are stuck. Even Prabhupada, he compares this to Vaitarini. And actually, when you see Vaitarini, Vaitarini is actually the river in the hellish, in the hell, Naraka. So this entire universe itself, including all the heavenly planets, everything he compares to Vaitarini only. So which is not a very good place. So even if you go up to Brahmaloka, the Lord says it's not a very good place because again you have to return to this cycle of birth and death. So it's materially everything is a rough neighborhood. Especially if you look at Prahlad Maharaj, many times in his prayers to Lord Narasimhadev, he compares this entire thing to Vaitarini only. He's saying simply we are sitting here and eating horrible things, he says, sitting in this other side of the Vaitarini river. And which are the sharks? Sharks, he says, his own mind and senses are the sharks. And even the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita also, he says that Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Mana Shashtan Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati, he says. So the living entities are my eternal parts. We are in one way, in quality, we are the same as the Lord. But because we are struggling with the sharks, the mind and senses, we are in this other side of the Vaitarini river, as Srila Prabhupada has put it in his purport. And what is the reason for that? Not the Lord, not material nature. Even though material nature is much more powerful than us, and even though in this picture we see Durga Devi punishing the living entities, she is not the cause of our floating in this material ocean. It is our own reasons. So if you see the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, he says, Niskin Chanasya Bhagavad Bhajano Mukhasya Param Param Jigamishor Bhavasagarasya Sandarshanam Vishayina Atayoshitamcha Ha Hanta Hanta Vishabhaksha Santo Pya Sadhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying this to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He's saying, alas, for a person who is seriously desiring to cross this great material ocean and engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord without material motives, so our own actions, seeing a materialist engage in self-gratification or seeing a woman who is similarly interested is more abominable than drinking poison willingly. No? So even one of the acharyas, he sings also, willingly I have drunk poison, he says. So willingly we have come into the ocean of the material existence. And similarly, even in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also, he says, Tanaham Dvishatara Kururan Samsareshu Naradaman Shipam Ajasram Ashubhan Ashurisheva Yonishu. He says, those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. So I have nobody to blame except myself. So even in the Bhagavatam also, many places we see this kind of references. Samsara chakra etasmin jantur agyana mohitaha brahmayan sukham cha dukkham cha bhunkte sarvatra sarvada. So deluded by ignorance, a living entity wanders in this forest of the material world, enjoying the happiness and distress resulting from my own past deed deeds. I cannot blame anyone, everywhere and at all times. So this is actually this Chitraketu Maharaj is telling to Mother Parvati. He's telling it's my own misdeeds. I cannot blame anyone for being in this material ocean. And I am among the ones that have chosen to miss the boat. The boat is freely available. The boat of the lotus feet of the Lord and the lotus feet of the Acharyas is freely available. But of my own accord, I have chosen to miss the boat. So that's why the in this shloka he says aplavesham, the people without a boat. Without a boat are called aplavesham. So in this even the 10th canto, he says, Ye anye aravinda aksha vimukta maninas Tvaivastha bhavad avishuddha buddhayaha aruhya krichena param padam tata patantyadho anadrita yushman angrayaha. Even yesterday that Prabhuji very nicely mentioned that aside from the devotees, so we are not, I am not devotee, so I have tried to accept different clauses for salvation, neglecting the boat. I thought, okay, I will make my own ship to cross across. So what is the result? I imagine superiority. I think, oh, I have solved the problem of material existence, I think. But because I have no regard for the Lord's feet, I have again and again, I'm falling down into this ocean of material existence. And the Lord also says in the Bhagavad Gita as well, the same thing. Because Namam Drushkritino Mudha Prapadyante Naradhamaha Mayaya Prahrita Jnana Ashuram Bhavam Ashritaha. He says, these 4 types of people never approach me, he says. Who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, and especially the knowledge is stolen by illusion. No? Because I'm thinking, oh, I'm very knowledgeable. I have solved the problems of life. I have hit the jackpot. But actually, my knowledge has been stolen by Maya. And because I've partaken of the atheistic nature of demons, because I reject the Lord's presence, that's why, no wonder I've chosen to miss the boat. And of my own accord, I'm suffering in this ocean of material existence. And any escape paths, I'm trying to devise my own escape paths. I'm trying to use my so-called intelligence. And Katha Upanishad says, even any escape path is very difficult and dangerous. It's not so easy to get out of this universe. He says, Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varani Bodhata Shurasya Dhara Nishita Duratyaya Durgam Patatstha Kavayo Vadanti. What the great Acharyas are saying, this path, whatever path I'm trying to get out of this is like the sharp edge of a razor. One step here and there, that's it. I've again fallen back into this material pool. So it's very, very difficult to cross of my own accord. So what is the solution? Then sometimes I think I found the boat. I sometimes say, oh, I found this boat. But actually, I might misuse the boat as well. I found the boat, but I have misused it for petty things. For petty things, I'm using it to go from one island to another in the ocean. So even if you remember in the previous sessions, the devotees have said how Dhruva Maharaj says, no? Aho bata mamanatmyam manda bhagasya pashyata bhava chitta pada moolam gatva yache yad antavat. So he has he's telling, I have caught hold of the feet of the Lord, but instead of using the feet of the Lord as a boat to cross this ocean, I am just used to ask for petty things. So that is, sometimes we fall into that kind of risk. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord also says the similar thing. No? Ashraddha dhana purusha. No? So I'm thinking, I'm practicing this path. I've caught the boat, I'm surely get out. But because of my lack in faith, I'm just doing it in a mechanical way. The Ajashadana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante. The boat, I have not caught it seriously. Means I have not got into the boat. I've just got hold of the rudder or something like that. I'm just floating behind the boat. So anytime I can leave the boat and back into the Mrityu Samsara Vartmini, back into the ocean of birth and death, because I'm not caught hold of the boat properly. So what is the solution of ferrying across the ocean? So sometimes the Acharyas say, even such an undeserving, living entity also meets some good fortune. Even though I don't deserve it, sometimes I get the good fortune. That's like hitting the lottery, no? Samsara bhramite kona bhagya ke hatare nadira pravahe yena kashta lage tire. So very nicely in the Madhya Lila, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's saying, the conditioned souls are wandering throughout the different planets of the universe through various species of life at random. They have even no intention or desire of getting out. But by good fortune, by the Acharya's mercy, by the Lord's mercy, Sometimes we might encounter a devotee, just as the many big logs in the river may sometimes reach the bank. So it gets a respite. It gets a respite from the material ocean. And same thing, similar shloka is there in the Madhya Lila 1951 also. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. So the sometimes by chance, by hitting the jackpot, I encounter a devotee, and by the devotee's mercy, I get the seed of devotion. So that is the boat which will carry us across. And the Lord is saying he can tame any wild ocean. No, this wild ocean is just a puddle in front of the Lord, the material ocean. So even in the Bhagavatam, the Lord is prayed. He is the Lord. When he appeared as Ramachandra, he tamed the ocean. The ocean was not allowing him across. Just by an angry glance, the ocean became calm. And similarly, even Parikshit Maharaj, when he's telling to Sukadeva Goswami, he says, my grandfathers, he's saying, the Pandavas, actually they had to face this great Kaurava Sagara, he says, the ocean of the Kauravas. And all the great Timingala fish were there, like Bhishma and Drona, Karna and all these people. In spite of such great warriors also, because they got hold of the boat of Krishna, very easily they were able to cross the ocean of Kurukshetra. So for the Lord, this wild ocean is nothing. And his teachings are only the boat. His teachings are only the boat. So in the Bhagavatam also, 9th canto, it is said, na, Yasherita Sankhya Mai Dridena Nav Yaya Mumukshus Tarate Duratyayam Bhavarnavam Mrityu Patham Vipaschitaha Paratma Bhutasya Katham Pritan Matihi, it's saying. So Kapila Muni has told this Sankhya philosophy. It is like the strong boat to cross over the ocean of nescience. So anybody eager to cross over this ocean can catch hold of this strong boat of this knowledge given by the Lord. So only a foolish person will neglect it. So similarly, even in the Mukunda Mala Stotra also, Kulashekar Alva, he says, He Martya Paramam Hitam Shrutavo Vakshyami Sankhepataha. In summary, he is saying, Samsara Navam, again he is calling the ocean of Samsara, Apadurmi Bahulam Samyak Pravishya Sthitaha, Nana Gyanam Apashya Chetasi Namo, Narayana Eti Amum. Nana Gyanam. I am trying to devise my own different fields of knowledge, trying to get out. He is saying, apart, just take Namo Narayana. He take the Narayana's name. Mantram sa pranavam, pranama sahitam, pravat yadhvam muhu. Saying, let alone all my so-called knowledge and take the holy name of the Lord. And by this I can cross over this ocean of material existence. And similarly, even in the Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord says, just even the most sinful of sinners also, even though he is unqualified, just by this fire of knowledge, he can cross a boat of transcendental knowledge, he can cross over the ocean of material existence. And sometimes the Lord gives tough love. Even means kindness is not suitable for us, so-called kindness. So he becomes tough. So what is it? So in the 11th canto also, that's Avanti Brahmana, he is praying. He said, Nunam me Bhagavan Stushtaha Sarvadevo Mayo Harihi Yena Nito Dasham Etam Nirvedas Chatmana Plavaha. Again, he is talking about this boat. What he is saying? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Hari, who contains himself within himself all the demigods, must be satisfied with me, he is saying. Why? Because he has brought me to this suffering condition. No, the suffering condition actually is good for us. It is a corrections, no, the Department of Corrections. The suffering condition and forced me to experience detachment. Even we see, it was Prithu Maharaj's grandfather, no? When his father was born, he's saying, actually this is good, he's saying, that I have got a bad son, but accordingly, I got detachment, he's saying, which is the boat to carry me over this ocean of material life. So tough love. Even Kunti Maharani prays, no? These troubles you give me more and more so that I get totally detached from this world. Because otherwise, Prabhupada says in the purport, actually we are enjoying the troubles, no? We are masochists actually. We are enjoying the troubles. We are finding it good fun. And the Lord only can deliver me from material existence. So even in the Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord says in the 12th chapter, he says, Tesham aham Samudharta Mrityu Samsara Sagarat. He's saying, personally, I rescue that person from the Mrityu Samsara. Bhavami na chirat partha. Not after long, many years. Na chirat. Very quickly I do it. Bhavami na chirat partha. Mai aveshita chetasam. Because he has invested his entire consciousness in me, I very quickly rescue the devotee from the material ocean of material existence, the Lord says. And what is a suitable boat? Because boat has to be good, especially the ocean is very tough. No? So the boat has to be really good. And so here the boat, what is the ingredients of a good, to make a very safe voyage across this ocean is told in the 12th canto. He's saying, Samsara Sindhum Ati Dushtaram Utirtha Shore. This ocean of samsara is very difficult. Nanya Plavo Bhagavata Purushottamasya Leela Katha Rasa Nishevanam Antarena Pumsho Bhaved Vivida Dukkha Dhavarditasya, it's saying. He's saying, for a person who is suffering in the fire of countless miseries and who desires to cross the insurmountable ocean of material existence, there is no suitable boat except the act of cultivating devotion to the transcendental taste for the narration of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's pastimes. That is the only suitable boat, it is said, for crossing the ocean. And it is not sufficient to have a boat. If the boat is there and the wind is blowing in the opposite direction, what is the use? And if the boat is there and you don't have a captain to guide you, to tell you this direction you go and advising you on the direction, what is the use of such a boat? So in the 11th canto, it is said, there are other things also required apart from the boat. He's saying, Drideham Adyam Sulubham Sudurlabham. He's saying this boat, somehow we have got. No, even though it's very difficult to get, we have got this Drideham, this human form of body. We have got it by good fortune. Plavam Sukalpam Guru Karnadaram. He's saying this boat is very good, strong boat it is, but you require the spiritual master who is Karnadaram. He is the captain. No? Again, in one of the lectures, I remember Amrendra Prabhu saying Karnadaram means actually the person who catches hold of our ear and he drags us. No? So the Guru actually catches hold of the ear, because otherwise we won't go. Kicking and screaming is dragging us to Krishna. Mayanu kulena nabas vateriam puman bhavabdhim nataret sa atmaha. This bhavabdhim, no? This ocean of material existence, would, because in spite of having such a good boat, in spite of having Srila Prabhupada and the spiritual master to guide me, in spite of that, I am not using this boat to cross over, and the strong winds are also there. That means Atmaha. I am just committing suicide. Willingly, I am drinking poison, as earlier we have seen. And the mystical boat. This boat is very mystical. We might think, oh, the person has used the boat. What about me? Other people have got into the boat. That means I have been left in the ocean. So no, it is said this boat is very mystical. In the 10th canto, it is said the acharyas take this boat, they cross the ocean, but still this boat is there on the other side. They say, how is this possible? This boat is, they have taken the boat, they have crossed this vast ocean and gone to the other side, but still this boat is available at this side. How is it possible? It is explained in the Bhagavatam. It is said, the Acharya has explained that when we approach the boat, what happens? The entire ocean becomes like a Govatsa Padam. No? It becomes like a very small puddle of the calf's footprint. So we don't need the boat. We just cross over. We just step over the ocean. And the boat is still there at this side. Anyone who approaches the boat, automatically the ocean becomes a puddle and he doesn't use the boat. He just crosses just by stepping over the ocean. So that's how the boat is always there for whoever chooses to use it. But we have to beware of the false boats. No, we are thinking, oh, some other boat also may be looking very good, very strong, but we have to beware of it. So in the 10th canto, it is said, Yathadridhai karma mahe kratubir nama nau nibhai vidyam anvikshikim hitva titirshanti bhavarnava. So it's again, you don't neglect this first line, what he has said, because Indra is speaking this. So that's why he's saying taking shelter of Krishna, because he is in an angry mood on Krishna. No? So he's saying, you just take the latter part, who just like the foolish attempt of men who abandon transcendental knowledge of the self and instead try to cross over the great ocean of material existence in the false boats of fruitive ritual sacrifices, he's saying. So it's just like that. Leaving the shelter of Krishna, we are taking the false boat. And again, in the 6th canto also, similar thing has been said. Tesham kupata deshtrinam patatam tamasya hada ye shraddhadyur vachastevai majjanti ashma plava iva, is saying. Ashma means stone. So it is said that leaders who have fallen into ignorance and who mislead the people by directing them into the path of destruction are in effect boarding a boat made of stone, no? Like Titanic, no? Boat made of stone. And so are those who are blindly following them. A stone boat will be unable to float and would sink in the water with all the passengers. Similarly, who mislead people go to hell and their followers go along with them. So this is saying following the false leaders is like getting into a stone boat. They might promise us, oh, I will take you across the ocean. But no, apart from the people, the acharyas who come down in the disciplic succession, nobody else can save us. So, and the Lord is a tireless rescuer. What is this ocean of nescience? It is no match for Krishna's mercy. So Krishna's ocean of mercy is huge. No? So again, the daily invocation also we sing, Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu. He is the ocean of mercy. So what is this comparison of the ocean of nescience? Ocean of nescience is nothing for the ocean of mercy. And the ocean, material ocean is no match for the bhakti ocean. No? Bhakti is also say Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So this Bhavarnavam is nothing compared to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. No? So even the Lord is saying this to Rupa Goswami. Parapara Shunya Gabhira Bhakti Rasa Sindhu Tomai Chakaite Tara Kaha Eka Bindu. He's saying this entire ocean, this ocean of transcendental mellows of devotional service is so big that no one can estimate its length and breadth. So he's telling to Rupa Goswami, just to help you to taste it and describing but one drop, he's saying. So when one drop is so huge, so what is so very easily we can cross this ocean. And no alternative. There's no alternative to this. As Kulashekara Alvar many times in the Mukundamala Stotra, he says there's no alternative other than Lord Krishna. So in the, for example, in 11th, this thing also he says, Bhava Jaladi Gatanam, Vandva Vata Hatanam, Sutta Duhitra Kalatra Trana Baradhitanam, Vishama Vishayatoye Majjatham, Aplavanam, Bhavati Sharan Meko, Vishnu Poto Narana. So he's saying the people in this vast ocean of birth and death are being blown about by the winds of material dualities. That is, we don't have a favorable wind. As they flounder in the perilous waters of sense indulgence, that is, our own sense indulgence is drowning us here. With no boat, Aplavanam, we are all Aplavesha. No boat to really rescue me. They are sorely distressed by the need to protect their sons, daughters, wives, country. So many responsibilities I take, so-called responsibilities. Only the boat that is Lord Vishnu can save such a person, he's saying. And similarly, even towards the end of the Mukundamala Stotra also, he is praying to the Lord like this. Tattvam prasida bhagavan kurumaya anate Vishnu kripam parama karuniko khalutvam samsara sagara nimagnam ananta deenam uddhartum arhasi hare purushottamosi. O Supreme Lord, O Vishnu, you are the most compassionate. So now please show me your favor and bestow your mercy upon this helpless soul. O unlimited Lord, kindly uplift this wretch who is drowning in the ocean of material existence. O Lord Hari, you are the supreme personality of Godhead. So beautifully, Kulashekara Alvar has said that. And the tried and tested method, it's not something we have to experiment. So it is the other previous acharyas have done it using this method. So what is the problem? We have no problem at all. So we see this shloka also. Say, Yetam se asthaya paratma nishtam adhyashitam purva tamair maharshibi. The previous maharshi, they have already done this. Aham tarishyami duranta param tamo mukundhangri nisheva yaiva. So he is so confident. So confidence, I shall cross over the insurmountable ocean of nescience by being firmly fixed in the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. This was approved by the previous acharyas who were fixed in firm devotion to the Lord Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is not some experimental method, not like COVID vaccine. No? It is a tried and tested. Others have already go on using this. And similarly, it said even though this is an ocean of faults, the one thing which can carry over is the name of Lord Krishna. And the Lord invites us to his abode. Very nicely in the purport, Prabhupada says, beyond this material ocean are the shores of the spiritual world. And the shores of the spiritual world, he's saying that it has no decay, it's unlike this world. That world is permanent, and there's no need of sun, moon, electricity, because the Lord's personal energy is illumining everything. It is full of light. We are in an ocean of darkness, and the Lord is inviting us to go to the place of light. No? So we'll just conclude with this very nice thing by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So just the fourth shloka. Let's see if it's coming. Yeah. The fourth, this thing he said, Chalo. Chalo Paki Ruper Deshe Jai, Se Je Deshe Te Maner Manush Asha Jayoe Nai. So he is asking the bird of his mind, he's saying, "Oh bird, let us go to the spiritual world, the land of true and everlasting beauty. It is the place where the imaginary man of my mind will never again come and go on the revolving cycle of birth and death." Very nicely, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says like that. So I just wanted to conclude with that even though this ocean of material existence is so difficult to overcome, and it has got so many problems, Kricha, as the Srila Prabhupada says, in spite of that, by catching hold of the boat which has been constructed by the Acharyas, using by the Lord's lotus feet, and using the Acharya as our captain, and the favorable winds provided by the Lord's scriptures and the Lord's mercy, we can definitely cross over this ocean. So I just wanted to conclude with that. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for your kind patience. So anybody wants to add or correct anything or comment anything, kindly do so.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandot Pranam.
Dandot Pranam, Prabhu.
Such a beautiful explanation of the text 40. And you tabulated the things so nicely to understand very, very easily. But the sum and summation of all this is the only way to surrender unto the Lord, and through spiritual master. That's why Guru, Shastra and Krishna will save us from all this ocean of miseries. That is the only way. There is no other way. There is no other way. So Prabhupada has founded this institution just to give us a simple message that by taking the shelter of this Harinam, everybody can cross the ocean. But there should be a sincere effort. The sincere effort will help us to get onto the boat, and the right boat, as you mentioned, needs to be test and tried. Otherwise, he may be diluted. So that's very important. We need to choose the right word, and right word is there. But we open our eyes and get in touch with them with firm faith, and the boat will carry you on the other side of the material world. This is the way to cross over the material ocean. Such a nice explanation. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Comments should we conclude? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Dandot Pranam, Prabhu.
Very nicely explained everything, particularly the things, the thing is that we are in a nescience, ocean of nescience, and we have to cross over that ocean, and we are very nicely given the example from the Shastras to find out how we can rely on our spiritual master, and that process is from this parampara or the parampara system, and if we rely on them, it is a time tested, so we will not be deceived, and it is the only way for us to go back to the Godhead and to get ourselves free from this ocean of nescience. And in this way, and the Lord is inviting always us,
Correct.
but we are not hearing because we are in the ocean of nescience.
Correct.
So once we take shelter of the Guru and the Vaishnavas, they will help us to find first understanding that we are in an ocean of nescience. Some people are not even understanding it.
Yeah.
And when we understand this, the path is given and it is time tested. So many other people in the past have gone back to the Godhead. So if we follow that process, we can also go back. And very nicely explained, Prabhu. Thank you. And
Thank you. Thank you so much.
you have very nicely given quotation from various shastras. Thank you once again for your quality.
No,
class.
it's
Thank
the
you once
kindness of
again,
the
Prabhu.
devotees. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanavad Pranam.
Dandavat pranam,
Prabhu,
dandavat pranam.
such a illuminating class, Prabhu, exposing or unpacking so many things about the boat comparison in the ocean. I remember, I think the Guru Gita Mahatma, Shankaracharya also compares the Gita as a boat to cross over the
Correct.
ocean.
Correct.
But I couldn't find the actual quotation, but I was still remembering, this.
Yes.
Karna is a shark and all this. Very nice.
Correct. Yeah. He compares that to the ocean of the Kurukshetra battle. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice class.
Thank
Hare
you. Thank
Krishna.
you so much, Prabhu. I think if there's no further comments, should we conclude here?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha,
कृपासिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
His Grace Poshak, His Grace Poshak Madhav Prabhu ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai. All grace to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna.